discussion show based on the epic fantasy series The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordon. My name is Ryan, and I am currently belting a sword to my waist.
Nice! And I am Ryan's brother Dan, and I am still lovely. And we are The Way the Leaf, and this is the LeafCast.
Still lovely, huh? I'm
still lovely, like Carrie Althor. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and this is the LeafCast, and this is episode 7. All right. I guess we should call this LeafCast 2.0, huh, Dan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're moving on up.
We got all sorts of changes to our scheduling. Let me just go through it real quick. Yeah, so we're not usually going to take this time to make show announcements, but these changes are so big, I felt like we needed to prepare everyone. After much deliberation amongst ourselves, many Zoom meetings with our marketing team, days pacing and staring off absent-mindedly for who knows how long, we've decided to make the YouTube version of the LeafCast spoiler-free. So, we got Brother Dan's recap. We're going to pause for an ad break, and then we'll bring in our first-time reader to discuss with us their impressions of the story so far. Our first-time reader segment was recently live-streamed on YouTube, and topics and questions were informed largely by the audience in chat. It
was fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to get on a regular schedule with that. So you might be wondering what's going on with Tavern Talk. That might be one of your favorite things. Tavern Talk is a place where lips get loose and rumors fly like, what do they fly like, Dan?
They fly like geese in fall.
We've decided to make Tavern Talk its own separate show. It'll be our spoiler-filled show, and it will include different guests from throughout the fandom.
Yeah, you see that? You see that right there? That's a thumb up. Go ahead and hit that thumb up right over here and subscribe if you haven't already. We do this all the time. This is great. This is fun.
I got sausages for fingers.
You got tubby thumb.
Brother Dan.
Yes, my brother Ryan.
I could tell you're crawling out of your skin. I could see it.
Oh, the tie is the only thing that's keeping me together right now.
Thank you for allowing to make that announcement. And will you please tell us a story about chapter 6 and 7 of The Eye of the World?
I would love to, Ryan. Play that music. Let's get this going. There we go. So, as Ryan did just kind of indicate right now, this is the first time that we're doing 2 chapters. We're doing chapter 6, The Westwood, and we are doing chapter 7, called Out of the Woods. So with chapter 6, as always, we start with the emblem. The emblem is a new emblem for us. It looks like it is a sword hilt that is facing downward. And when you look very closely at it, it looks like that might be a heron engraved on there. As carrying on with what we started last week, we are also going to stick to an outline format. This is part 1 of this outline of the both chapter. I call it Rand Tends to Tam, a.k.a. my dad is super tripping right now. The chapter begins with Rand getting back to his dad. He had already killed Narg. Pretty traumatic. He went to the barn and got whatever supplies he could to tend to Tam Althor. Tam Althor, and it says here, his father had always seemed indestructible, and this is the sense that we've always gotten. But Tam Althor is not doing well. He's kind of drifting in and out of consciousness. He's burning up, and he has just this little scratch right along his ribs that doesn't seem like it should be giving this sort of reaction. Now, Rand is really scared. This is everything that is secure for Rand has just kind of gone away. The only thing that he can do is take him to the village. If he can just get him to the wisdom, then everything's going to be great. So he gently addresses his wounds. He's, trying to be really gentle. So he's trying to be like, shh, hey, be cool. Suddenly Tam Althor just busts out with this weird fever dream thing about his long dead wife, Kari. He says, you're still lovely, Carrie. Still lovely as a girl. And Rand's like, oh no, he's talking to someone who's been dead. Rand doesn't even really remember her besides her smiling face. He doesn't really remember anything besides stories. And so if Tam Althor is talking in his delirium to someone who is dead, this is not going well. So he forms a litter, and as you can see, he puts it on his shoulders, and it doesn't feel that heavy. He's like, okay, I can manage this. We're gonna go. So he gets near the quarry road and goes into the trees and is kind of walking parallel east along the quarry road, going through the trees. And this isn't the easiest way to walk. It's dark out. There's lots of like bumps, and he's dragging, it's a one-man litter, I guess a stretcher, but just for one guy on a backpack. So he's dragging his dad behind him, and every bump, every tree root, every rock, his dad's like, and ran again for two reasons. Like, I don't want my dad to feel pain, but also we got to be quiet, my man. This isn't good. So
Brother Dan, I got to admit, I got really misty during this part. I really felt for everything and the way it was written. And I just want to say this is so tread lightly if and also if you really give me your dramatic chops, I might just cry on the show. So
well,
heads up. If I'm not making jokes right now, I'm feeling it because this is really a huge moment. Go on.
This isn't easy for him. And he's and I'm just going to quote something real fast. He says, quote, "Or just the bread. Of course, Mr. Salvier would insist on putting a hot meal in front of him. Once they reached the inn, a stunning plate of her thick lamb stew, possibly, and some of that bread she had been baking, and lots of hot tea." So he's just going through. He's starting to feel burdened. He's scared, and he has this vision of the village is going to help me. There's my security. I'm going to go get some hot tea. This is my comfort. This is what is there. I just need to get my dad there, and I'm all good. We're all good because if anyone can help my dad, it's the people in Evans Field. This is how it goes. Suddenly, Tam Althor, even though he's just been doing like these little mutterings, these little like, he suddenly just gets ferocious. And he says, quote, "They came over the dragon wall like a flood," Tam said suddenly in a strong, angry voice, "and washed the land with blood. How many died for Layman's sin?" And Rand's like, please, shh. He almost fell. He gave him some water, and he's like, hey, Carrie, I want you to be quiet. Shh, be quiet. And then Tam wasn't done. Tam Althor had some stuff to say. He says, quote, "They called them savages," Tam said urgently. "The fools say they could swept aside like rubbish. How many battles lost? How many cities burned before they faced the math? Before the nation stood together against them?" Part 2 of the outline. Danger from the quarry road, a.k.a. shh, be very, very quiet. And suddenly Rand covers his mouth and shh, don't talk. He has this feeling like he just kind of gets a little creeped out, and he's like, we need to be quiet. And sure enough, along the quarry road, there comes a horse that looks very familiar to Rand, with a rider that also looks very familiar to Rand because it scared the bejesus out of him just that morning. Well, Ryan, I thought that we had determined that that Black Rider had taught Rand the concept of fear itself.
Very much so.
Right,
trademark. We trademarked that.
Yeah. And following him in a very disciplined marching way are Trollocs. Rand counts 20. He hides. He's covering his dad's mouth. He's just not moving. They all kind of go by, and Rand's like, so he waits. He kind of thinks, all right, I should probably wait for a minute. And the line says, this time the horse made no sound at all. And suddenly that horse and rider were back, like right there, just silently kind of creeping every few steps, creeping, looking right at where Rand may or may not have been, creeping. And then suddenly something changed his mind and he took off at a gallop towards the farm where presumably Rand and Tam were supposed to be if these Trollocs, had done their job. So he goes off to the farm. Finally, Rand's like, we got to go. His dad's still muttering. Rand's like, all right, come on. He's picturing Emmons Field. The house is all lit for winter night. He's picturing people greeting each other. They're shouting. People are just kind of getting drunk and giving out food. And he's like, I can't wait to get there. We get to the third part of the outline, which is, I call it was just a fever dream, a.k.a. Tam Althor said, what? Tam starts talking again. He mentions Avendazora. It said it makes no seed, but they brought her cutting to Carnhane, a sapling, a royal gift of wonder for the king. Though he sounded angry. And so, again, Tam is kind of dropping some knowledge that Rand doesn't really know what to make of any of these things. He has heard of Avendazora. It's called the Tree of Life. And he hears that there's only supposed to be one. There's not two. He doesn't know. And in the stories, it's like owned by the Green Man. So Rand doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's like, next he'll actually meet the Green Man or an Ogier giant or a wild Black Veil Isle man, which are all stories that Rand has also heard about that, it's just baffling that he's talking about this tree because it associates with this legend of the Green Man. But then there's a quote here that I like to read once, if I can, Ryan. It's Tam Althor right before the chapter ends. He starts speaking again, and he says, quote, battles are always hot, even in the snow. Sweat heat, blood heat. Only death is cool. Slope of the mountain. Only place didn't stink of death. Had to get away from smell of it, sight of it. Heard a baby cry. Their women fight alongside the men sometimes, but why they let her come, I don't. Gave birth there alone, before she died of her wounds. Covered the child with her cloak, but the wind, blown the cloak away. Child blew with the cold. Should have been Ted too, crying there. Crying in the snow. I couldn't just leave a child. No, children of our own. Always knew you wanted children. I know you'd take her to heart, Kari. Yes, lass. Rand is a good name. And end quote. And this thing just drops Rand's jaw because essentially he is suggesting that they found a child in the snow and named it Rand and gave it to his wife. This is something Rand's never heard, but he's determined. He's like, oh, geez, I wish I didn't hear that, but you are my father and I'm taking you to the village. And that's where the chapter ends with Rand saying, but Light, who am I? He's asking that. And then we get to chapter 7, Out of the Woods.
We have an incredible moment when he's hiding very, very, very close to him. And that moment is incredibly suspenseful.
It's scary.
The idea that he's holding his father's mouth closed, this being of respect and power and admiration and security for him. All of a sudden, he's literally holding his mouth shut. That's these are all moments that change a man, and he's having many in a sequence that maybe this is an hour passed since the Trolloc burst through the door at most. and who is he now versus who he was before that Trolloc broke through the door. And notice those points, not only for plot points, but also character development, because they're very just create, like any human being going through one of these can be, needing therapy for the rest of their life to unpack it all. But we have a series of life-changing events. It's really
we also have a real shifting of roles within just one chapter. Tam Althor came and put his mouth over Rand when was saving him. And then in this chapter, Rand is strapping on the belt. He's putting his thing over. He's even calling his mom. He's calling by her first name, which even to me, like to this day, saying my mother's first name is awkward. It's like Brand Alvear saying war. It just doesn't sound right out of my face. So
I actually, well, we should definitely talk about that in Tavern Talk.
Okay.
That point you just pointed out, I did not notice, and the implications of that are really huge. I did not notice that. Go on. Okay, that's great.
Cool. So we're at chapter 7 now. Chapter 7 is called Out of the Woods, and we have a tree that is silhouetted by a moon. We had this, I believe, in an earlier chapter as well. We're at the fourth part of the outline. This is one where I called Rand Gets Tam to Edmund's Field, a.k.a. Best? No, worst bell time ever. Thank you.
Am I going to be having to put in a ba-dum-tsh?
I think for most of these, yeah. I got some cool puns coming up.
Okay. We'll talk about this in the next meeting.
Meetings. How about doings? I'm just kidding. All right. So, sorry. 3, 2, 1. All right. So Rand shows up just as the sun is kind of breaking. Gray light is kind of shining through the black. He is super tired. He is just stumbling along, dragging his muttering sick dad to get to the village. And once he gets there, he's like, oh, yeah, there's the village. There's some houses. Oh, in fact, I smell some wood smoke. Cool. Wait a minute. That's a whole lot of wood smoke. That's a little bit too much wood smoke. And then he starts to frown, looks around, and he sees that Emond's Field has been savage. There's destruction all over the place. It seems random. Master Luhan's forge and house is all tore up. The Cawthon's house is all tore up. The Thane's house is all tore up. But some of the other houses are completely fine, even if they're between these two. Rand is the first one that he sees. And it says here the destruction seems scattered at random throughout the village, which doesn't make sense to Rand at all, but it's something he recognizes. He sees that there's a huge Beltane fire going on the other side of the wine spring. Harl Luhan, the blacksmith, comes kind of jogging up, and he sees that Tam Althor is laying there. His eyes are closed, and his breathing is, quote, low and hard, which isn't. I mean, that's not cool. So the first thing he says is, "Trollocs, boy, yeah, here too." And Rand's like, "What?" Egwene comes running by, and she's like, she's on her way to like she has stuff in her arms, and she's running, and she's like, "Oh no, Rand, oh Tam, oh," and then she like stifles a little sob. She goes, "Come on, I'll take you to Nynaeve, come on." Rand is pretty stunned. He's like, Harold's like, "Come on, boy, come on, let's take her, let's." So they pick up Tam Althor, and are on their way to see Nynaeve. Rand kind of mutters, "Man, all the stories are real." And the blacksmith says, "So it seems, lad. So it seems." Rand asks about Matt. He's like, "Yeah, Matt's alive. Don't worry about it." Although they did hit his house. They came after the forge. My wife killed one with a frying pan, and is now like kind of hunting Eddie with the biggest hammer she could she can carry. She's going to bludgeon any Trolloc that may be kind of wandering around. But they also revert to the old standby phrase, the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. Two rivers pick up the pieces. We go on. We'll make it through. Remember, we're two river folk. If the light doesn't like us, well, who cares? We're our own light, baby, right here. You see that tide? That's the two rivers right there. We're two river folk. We are light. We're going to do it ourselves. So, and then we get to the next part of the outline, part 5. Rand brings Tam to Nynaeve, a.k.a. the Passion of the Wisdom. So they go to the Calder House. Apparently the Calder House is where they're kind of setting up to do some of the sick, bringing people. They don't want too many people in one area. The mayor apparently offered the Wine Spring Inn as a hospital, which was very kind of him. But she says that it doesn't help much with healing to have so many sick people together. As soon as he brings Tam Althor to Nynaeve jumps down onto her knees and starts just kind of looking him over. It's not a very quick assessment before she kind of tucks him in like a little baby, trying to make sure he's comfortable, and says, I'm sorry, Rand, there's nothing I can do here. Rand is like, whoa, hold on. But you're the wisdom. You're the wisdom. I brought him to you. And she kind of snaps and says, don't you think I would do something if I can? I just can't. I know what my powers are. This is beyond it. And there's other people that need my help. And I'm very, very sorry, but I need to be mature about this, and I need to go. She starts to walk off. Rand's like, but I brought him here as quickly as I could. And she goes, and I'm getting a little choked up. So she goes, yeah, I know you did.
Yeah, so, for real.
So yeah, just like that loss of hope is like really rough. I mean, Tam Althor is everything to Rand, and so anyways. Here we go. So Edwin gives Rand a ferocious hug and is like, I'm sorry. And then Rand's like, wait a minute. There's other options. And so we get to the part 6 of the outline, which is called Rand takes Tam to the mayor, a.k.a. Nynaeve, can I talk to your manager? So he's like, I'll go to the mayor. What? The mayor is like the smartest person I know. He's my dad's best friend. He's the richest guy. I mean, he makes things happen. If Nynaeve can't help, then the mayor can. Carrying, but kind of half carrying, half dragging Tam Althor to the Wine Spring Inn. There is the Gleeman. Tom Maryland is kind of sitting on the foundation. As soon as he sees Rand kind of going into the thing, he, without saying anything, he jumps down, picks him up. Boom, let's go. Boom. They go into the Wine Spring Inn. Rand kind of notices as he's going in that there is a charcoal teardrop balanced on its tip or on its point, which is known as the Dragon's Fang. And this was carved or scrawled onto the door of the inn. We get into it turns out that someone either thinks that there's evil going on or doesn't like either the mayor or one of his guests because this was here. But we see that in Bran Alvear's a typical politician right now, and he's like, what? Without even looking up, he's just like, I got to deal with your problem too. Don't you think I have a lot of problems? I'm busy here, man. What do you? He doesn't even look up. I'm busy. Go away. I'm the mayor. Rand goes, Master Alvier, it's my dad. And he's like, no. And he runs. Oh, please. Oh, not Tam. Oh, God. I thought you were dead. We thought you were dead. Bella came in a couple hours before dawn, all frothing at the mouth. So, So Bella's alive. Bella came in. She's well and good.
I can't keep doing that, but I want to.
No.
Once an episode, we'll see.
No.
Listener feedback.
Stop in the. Yeah. I would love to hear listener feedback. If we should have 15-second Bella. If the people want it, the people get it.
All right, let's go. Sorry.
Okay. So Bran's like, Tom Maryland, get out of here. Go get the wisdom. She's needed here now. And pushes them out. Go. They get Tam into a room. They're like, don't worry, boy. The wisdom's going to know what to do. Rand's like, yeah, I already talked to her and she said no go. And Bran's like, okay, we'll figure something out. Okay, well, and he gets a little flustered because the wisdom is all they got. Tom Maryland comes back and is like, well, that was pointless. Thank you for sending me on getting my face almost ripped off and hit with a big stick. And Rand's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you took off before I could say anything. Sorry, not my fault. They speculate that
I'm rubber, you're glue.
hey, buddy. I mean, life's hard. What do you get a little exercise, would you? So they speculate on the Dragon Fang. They assume it's either the Coplans or the Congers. Who even knows with them weirdos? They're just, and we hear that the dog Copland spent half the night demanding that he get rid of Moraine and Lan, but they pretty much saved the village, according to Brain Alvier. And Rand's like, well, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, you didn't see? Oh, you didn't hear? Oh, okay. So, all right, ball lightning, like we've seen it hit a tree and like destroy things. She like just called it out and made Trollocs blow up. Lan is amazing. He's flying around with his sword, like, show. She's throwing lightning. Oh, it was so great. And Rand's like, wait, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, Moraine's an Aes Sedai, buddy. And Lan's a warder.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Rand's like, and Aes Sedai, I talked to her. And then Bran Alvier's like, oh, duh. I'm so dumb. Why didn't I put 2 and 2 together? Duh. We have an Aes Sedai's healed. But Bran, we may have a chance to save Tam Althor. But I probably wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And Tom Maryland's like, yeah, Aes Sedai. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do it either. But I mean, what do you got to lose? I mean, it's either you do this or we start making preparations. Let's see what we can do. And Rand's like, you know what? You're right. Turns out that Moraine is over there by the fires that are burning up all the Trollocs. And so we get to the final part of our outline. It is called One Final Chance for Tam Althor, a.k.a. Moraine Sedai.
Yes.
And so Rand boogies on over to the fires. The fires are gross as heck. all the people are wearing like vinegar covered masks, and even that isn't really doing much of a job. They're like barfing, they're coughing, they're gagging, they're choking, they're salivating, they're crying, their noses are running. Rand finds Moiraine and Lan. Lan's like ripping something off of a dead Trolloc. He's like looking at a badge. He's like, oh, this is a kobold. This is like the fourth one. Yeah, and they start talking about just how many of these beasts were in the village. There were 7 bands so far.
Yep, 7 bands.
I misspoke. So there were 7 bands of Trollocs. Moiraine says that we haven't seen this many Trollocs together at one time in a coordinated thing since like the Trolloc Wars. And Lan looks rather grim. He's like, he starts looking for more stuff. Rand al'Thor runs up to and says, Mistress Moiraine, Moiraine Sedai. And they both just give him the little icy glare. Moiraine and Lan are both like, oh, okay. What do you need? But Moiraine just kind of eases up real fast and actually calls it a little more light in the darkness, and instantly asks Rand about his dream. And he's like, my dream? No. My dreams are fine. I didn't even sleep last night. I got all the way here. It's my dad. My dad's sick, and the wisdom won't do anything, and the mayor can't do anything. And it said that Aes Sedai can heal. And can you pretty please just come look at him and see what you can do? I'll do anything you want. I'll pay any price you want. Please just come look at him. Any price?
Any price? Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk about.
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about price later, or maybe not. But yeah.
Right. Lan is like, hey, buddy, death comes to us all eventually. What's the big deal? Moraine's like, chill, my friend. You're protective of me. He is protective of his father. Let's go. Where's he at? He's at the end. Come on. And he's running ahead like a anxious puppy. And he's like, come on. Buddy, chill out. She's been working all night. She just saved your village. You show some respect. And she's like, it's okay, big guy. I'm coming as fast as I can. I am super, super, super exhausted. Don't get me wrong. I am super exhausted. This is as fast as I can walk. Just bear with me. I'll be there. And Rand's like, okay. And you know, it ends on a little tiny ominous note. He slows down and says, he was committed. He matched his stride to theirs and tried not to think of what the price might be that they would talk about later. And that's the end of chapter 7. It is on page 112. The next chapter is A Place of Safety, chapter 8.
Oh, excellent recap, Dan.
Yeah, that was a nutty chapter. When all hope is being lost for him, it really hits just how desperate his situation is. No one wants him to talk to the Aes Sedai, but they're like, well, I mean, your dad is in rough shape, buddy. You need to, if you're going to do anything for him, she's over there, but I wouldn't do it. But you go ahead. You know, he's getting these really dangerous vibes from him.
And we are basically seeing just the worst possible situation for him. His dad's on death's door, just hitched his whole wagon to strangers, literally strangers. The chapter is called Strangers. And now we got to see what's going to happen next.
Out of the woods. So that also, like, there's the old adage, out of the frying pan and into the fire. And I wonder if Robert Jordan intentionally kind of said out of the woods. And I don't know, in my head, I kind of follow that with it and into more bad stuff.
Oh, okay. I thought it was kind of to try and highlight how Rand was feeling. Like he had that sense of hope. We see that powerful moment when he starts reminiscing about his life and he had these hopeful memories of a secure village where he gets kind of all of his needs are going to be met and his dad's going to be safe, and he starts dreaming of the little nuances of Two Rivers, and lo and behold, all those are dashed. And I thought that moment, kills me. This we'll talk about that later, but yeah, certainly
they're using Beltane fires to burn bodies of Trollocs. This isn't what it's supposed to be used for at all.
Unprecedented. And he's seeing everyone else lose hope around him one at a time. And that's really hard to see too. And then he's just, he's desperate, but he still has his wits about him. And gotta hand it to the kid. Boy, I wouldn't have been able to do any of these steps. He's trying to save his father's life.
Right. And he's not taking no for an answer. And this is pretty true Two Rivers folk. I think no one takes no for an answer there. So this is probably true to form that he's going to do everything possible in order to get some satisfaction, I guess, or at least think, okay, there's nothing more I could have done, including paying some price. He doesn't even know what it is yet.
Yeah. Yes. And we'll talk about that in Tavern Talk. Okay. So we're going to move the episode forward. Oh, here it goes with our ad reads. Okay. Every week we go through this. We're really hoping, maybe we should clarify, this section is for big sponsors. We're ready. Anyone, Tesla, Elon Musk, Amazon, come on, we're ready. So this is for you, but right now, I'm going to ask Dan, do we have a sponsor yet?
We had interest from the Soup Plantation. And then I saw that they are no longer doing business. So I'm going to assume that fell through. So as of right now, no. We did have Senbui last week, and we had Bran Alvear the week before, but nothing this week.
Everyone, keep in mind, we have this space for you. Think of the possibilities this space can bring to you and your businesses and your pet projects, your passion projects. Come on, everybody. This time is also for us to highlight some of the comments we get, some of the interactions we're having with our friends on Discord and reviews and whatnot. This is our first review on iTunes. This is from a reader named TFFHHFD. Can you try and read that, my brother Dan? Okay, good. It says, great podcast. I think that's a good start. This is a good start. It's very unique and interesting podcast to listen to, unlike any I've heard before. You can really tell that they're just having fun with this and talking about a book series they love. And we got a 5 out of 5.
We made a 5 stars.
First 5 star. First 5 star. First 5 star. First 5 star. First of many. First. Okay. And next, we're going to move over to comment from Discord. This is our friend Desmond Sadai. She said, just wanted to pop in and say how much I love Todd as a guest. So, she says it brings back memories. She says his thoughts on Moiraine, Thumb, as he says it, and Lan were awesome.
Thumb is great.
Okay, and moving right along, we have a comment from Dean Moxley. He wants to explain how he believes Rand gets out from underneath the Trolloc Narg. It is through shrimp out.
I actually practiced this extensively over the week, and it is a valid way to get out from under a Trolloc. I can confirm.
I'm not going to ask any clarifying questions for that. And then the last thing we can talk about is we are a part of what is called the Twatcast Charity Podcastathon.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is a great idea coming from our friends from Twatcast. They're putting together a 24-hour podcast marathon that's going to be live streamed onto YouTube. We are some esteemed guests, and we just want to put this out there that we are going to be involved in this next week. That's going to be July 24th. And we are on at very late at night. So more details to come. We will put that into the notes below.
Yeah, this is going to be very exciting. And there's a lot of really cool people that are participating with this, with that as well. So I'm honored to be a part of it, and I'm stoked to do it.
Yeah, and the charity is to stop cyberbullying.
And if we do get a certain number of pledges, maybe we'll be able to have some surprises, have some rewards of sorts.
Oh, okay. No further. Okay, so that is the end of our ad reads. That's, the sound. That means the show is coming to a close. What a great one. I'm so glad everyone is with us today. Dan, how do you feel about the show?
I feel great. I love every time that Todd's able to join us. And I like that we actually were able to kind of advertise what we're doing next week. So this charity event will be a live event that's going on from the 24th to the 25th. And we're super excited for this. And this is our chance to give back. So thank you. Thank you. I'm stoked for this.
Yeah. We are the way of the leaf. Any way we could be spreading positivity in this world, we are going to jump on. That's what
Absolutely.
There's a very distinct reason why we chose to call ourselves the way of the leaf. So, next week, we are moving into chapters 8 and 9. And we will have another amazing recap from Brother Dan. We will have our first-time reader chat with Todd. We might have some more political ads. Guys, this journey's just begun. I hope you like what we're seeing, and you're going to continue to join on with us. I hope you like Dan's dance moves over there.
Oh, these are my best dance moves ever, actually. If you don't like these dance moves, you just don't like dance moves.
It's almost like you learn how to dance with two hands for the first time.
It is almost like that, huh? Look at that.
Right.
Look at that, right?
What do you call it on the rainbow?
The rainbow, yeah.
The rainbow. All right, if you aren't watching this on the YouTubes, really, you're missing out.
The windshield wipers.
But we also love our podcast listeners. We're not torn. We love everyone. We're full of love. That's why we're the way of the leaf. Before the song closes up, let's make sure everyone knows we have friends on our communities through Discord. Join our Discord, please. We have
Come on.
We're live streaming our first time reader segment, so join our Discord. You'll find out when that's happening. After that, we get on and we start chatting with each other, and we all make fun of us. It's fun.
What else?
What else? We have Facebook.
Yeah.
We have Facebook, leaf.cast. We have Gmail, the way the leaf cast at gmail.com.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yes, and we have more specifically, again, Discord. We are moving forward to the next episode. We're looking forward to seeing you again. Have a great week. Have a great life.
Yes, Discord has become our treehouse for the way of the leaf. And hopefully we'll see you there. And in the meantime, may you find shade and water. I love you, and I'm proud.